Live right here at the 60th Mr. Olympia anniversary at the Expo. I told you guys we're going to film a podcast. We're going to be live here today on the Muscle Fitness YouTube channel. And I have some guests here, and of course my homies right next to me. I'm going to introduce them. We got to the left, the real deal, Chris Cormier. And of course on my right, the mind, Milo Sarjev. I have two special guests here, man. I'm very happy and proud to say we have Melvin Anthony right here, a guy that we go back to 1998, where I whipped his ass on stage. He still is not over it.
Gonna let that guy go? Never let that go.
And then of course I can't say about what can I say about the 6-time 212 Mr. Olympia, Mr. Flex Lewis. Flex, thank you for making the time, brother. I appreciate it.
What do you mean 6? Telling me last 7.
It's 7.
It's okay.
Why
You did it on purpose.
No, listen. I know it's 7, but I didn't do it on purpose. I don't know why.
He's just counting someone as wins.
No.
Yeah. Hey, my wins are easy to count.
I'm going to be honest. I only discount one win on Flex. One win, and he knows exactly what I'm saying.
This is how we start the podcast. This is how we start.
No,
but it's good to be on your show too.
It wasn't on the Olympia stage though. That was in San Marino.
Yeah.
That was. It was. Listen, I'll give you the head judge's word. It was a tie, and a tie will always go to the champ. That was the answer that we got. But listen, that wasn't the Flex Lewis that we see on the Olympia stage. So, listen, don't even get pissed for that. Okay.
Just sneak it in, right? Yeah.
Hey, we had a good time yesterday at Flex's podcast at the Red Tail. Are you going to be up there again today?
No, it was a one and done.
Oh, okay. So it was just all day yesterday.
Yeah, it was from 5 until 8.
And you know what? I saw you guys. I didn't even know that had something to do with you. When we left the hotel on an Uber, it went around the corner, and I saw a Max Pump truck and an Arsenal truck. So there's something. You're doing something with them outside the hotel.
Yeah, I'm doing 4 activations on property. I've got from Thursday to Saturday. I've got the pop-up gym, the Dragon's Lair pop-up gym, which has all the brands you mentioned. And last night I done the live podcast show with all incredible guests, yourself included. And then I've got the day club. I'm doing a Dragon's Lair takeover day club, and then I've got the nightclub too.
Oh, so you have a after party?
Yeah, I have a partnership with Resorts World.
So is there a chance that we can get in?
Well, starting off the show the way you did, I don't know.
I'm glad I didn't say nothing.
So you host the official after party?
No, we have a party with the Mr. Olympia inside, so we've got like a connected party. Yeah.
So is that the watch party?
Yes, I got the watch party as well.
Oh,
add that in too. I'm doing a watch party at Zook.
Okay, so I'm going to be close to you this weekend. And Chris probably too.
I told him include me in that. Whatever y'all doing with that.
You're the king of parties, Chris. How have you got enough to party?
Chris is old now. He retired.
I'm still the king.
You are.
Are you still partying though?
I'm just the king.
You're not partying no more.
I'm not partying, but I'm the king.
He going out.
He will forever be.
He ain't partying, but he going out though.
It's like Sergio Oliva said, I will be forever the king.
He scaled it down. He still parties.
Yeah. So listen, hey, we got something to talk about. 212 just wrapped up. Did you see pre-judging, Flex?
I watched it from afar. I didn't see it in the
Melvin saw it. Milo saw it.
Yeah.
Chris, did you see it?
I saw the last go of it.
It's a damn shame. Okay.
No.
He was late.
I saw what I wanted to see. I saw when they was going to go head-to-head at the end. That's what I wanted to see.
So, listen, we talked about this for 3 months now where we predict. And I got to just say one thing, and this is just me. I said if Keon brings the condition, he's not beatable. I saw an unbeatable Keon today. I don't know about you guys. Yeah. I mean, I want to say that Sean Clarita looked unbelievable for Sean.
Yeah.
But it's just size-wise, he's just not big enough to stand next to Keon, who is in that kind of condition. He's not more conditioned than Sean, but he has the happy medium of fullness and condition. What do you guys think?
I think you're right on the money. Keon was looking, man, that's what we were wanting for him to bring for years now, and he's finally getting to that area where he can be like really, into physique, into his training year-round, training like a champion, eating like a champion year-round, and that's what's going to take at this level, because Sean would have definitely took him out if he would have came like the old Keon, for sure. because he looked remarkable.
Well, let me put it this way. And still, that's how we start the podcast, right?
Yeah.
He's untouchable. Now, if you just look at the conditioning and the density and the hardness, yeah, he didn't reach the level of Sean Clarida. But as you said, Dennis, Sean Clarida is still being almost at his best, maybe at his best, can't touch this Keon. This is a definition of my hashtag bodybuilding. The shape was phenomenal. His presentation, I don't know if you work with him a little bit on presentation.
Yeah,
I
would like to.
It was fabulous. Now, the ab shot that he did, even though I don't like those half twisted, it looked phenomenal on him with the cross-threaded, feathered quads. He didn't lose a single pose, and this is Sean at his best. So this is how good Keon is.
Yeah, he improved his
I think he
abs. you could
sacrificed a
tell.
little bit of size.
Yeah, just,
I think Sean, sacrificed a little bit of size for his condition. I'm used to seeing him a little bit more full. So when he turned around to the front, I kind of was watching. I was like, okay, he's peeled. I think he was the best conditioned guy in the show. But when Keon, shot for shot, everywhere he turned, he was full. He had just enough condition to just couldn't touch him. Teflon.
Let's get the Kings, the 212 Kings.
Six times.
Opinion. 7-time. They got 212, Mr. Olympia.
They're gonna go
I'll
down.
give you 8 just to make up for the 6.
Okay. Get back in my good books.
What do you think, Flex?
Well, I got the chance to see Keon from the off season. He's been training in my gym now for the last 2 years. So I've seen this guy. You know, everybody knows from the outside in, seeing this guy's potential. We can see the structure, the flow, the symmetry. His bodybuilding at his best. But again, that mindset has really only been turned on, I think, really since the introduction of his significant other. He's got that foundation, and that guy has truly unlocked something mentally in his head, because the guy that steps into my gym every single day has got a mental fortitude to remain and still. It's an incredible evolution of Keon. Of course, Sean, like to Milos's point, conditioning, hardness, it's apples and oranges. But if you take a step back and look at the both of them on stage, you know, my eye is always going to look at Keon, because that symmetry is just beautiful. Not that Sean doesn't have that symmetry, but again, Keon just has that allure to him, that look that always going to gravitate my eye. And was he in super condition compared to Sean? No, but look how Sean is, right? He was fucking peeled. He was hard as nails. He looked ridiculous. But again, Keon, I think, is just taking this prejudging to storm.
I think it's clear cut. I don't think there's. That's why we didn't see a 2-man call out, because I think it was just crystal clear. And I feel bad for Sean a little bit, because he did come at his best. You know, he did what he's supposed to do to lose some of that weight. And what you say, Melvin, is if you lose a little bit of fullness, but if he comes in fuller, it showed in his belly. We saw his stomach, and he doesn't have a distended stomach, but when he comes out
Fuller,
and it's
it exposes.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I think if there wasn't a Keon, he would clearly dominate this whole category.
Over with.
You know, but I texted Milos during the prejudging. I said, "There's a lot of really good guys on that stage."
Yeah, it was deep.
And in good condition.
In good condition.
You know, so you mentioned the guy from Italy.
Number 17.
Giuseppe Christian Zagarella.
Yeah.
So remember that name. It's
He was-
phenomenal.
No, I can't say that, Milos.
Giuseppe.
One more time, Milos.
Say it one more time.
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe
Christian Zagarella.
Zagarella. I
He was
liked
in the
him.
Canadian show, correct?
Yes.
He was in
I don't know which
Toronto.
one. He just won one. Mauro Sassi trains him. I had a chance to see him pose the other day, and he made some adjustments, and he was brilliant. And this is what I'm saying, that little tweaks in between, right? If you're half second late to suck in the stomach, judge is going to see it. If you're not keeping your quad constantly locked, you locked in the beginning and then you lose like within seconds, and then you reintroduce at the end. It's not the same. You might lose the pose. This guy did everything perfect.
Did you notice that Keon was taking his time a little too much with his
Too
poses?
much.
Yeah,
But he's a champ. He's a champ. That's
Yeah,
what
I
champs
think
do.
But
Okay.
there is
Flex Lewis?
but there is
Remember that
there
guy?
is a way you can hit it,
And
and your body's going to improve.
You have
when it's
the
in that
right to
pose.
take
Yeah.
your time. You're the champ.
So that's the difference. Okay, Italian guy came and he had to finish everything in 60 seconds, and he actually did probably in 45, which I was pissed. Take all your time you're given, and here comes Keon, and just watch. It's probably 2-minute routine. He was taking the time, just like back in the day when Kevin Levroni would do 3 minutes and 38 seconds,
Side chest.
allowed 90. Yeah.
Hold on, I see Paul Dillette.
Paul Dillette, all right.
Come on, hop on in.
Come and get on Paul.
Hey,
Yeah, but anyway, to your point, there were so many good guys. Everybody was in shape. There was not a single guy out of shape.
Angel,
Everybody was in condition.
Angel looked the best. He was too. Angel,
I mean, they were all in crazy condition.
Yeah.
Baggio was in crazy condition, and then that Nasser guy, I don't know where he's from, Kuwait, yeah. I mean, there was so many impressive.
Yeah.
Everybody was in Olympia condition. Take my hat off.
How about
your hat
this? Do you think, Flex, that this was a very deep lineup, one of the deepest we saw in a lot of years for the past, or no?
I mean, looking at it from the competitor standpoint, I always had kind of tunnel vision, and I didn't really see who was next to me, who was in the show. So to compare years to years, but I know this is a deep lineup. To Milos' point, everybody turned up, everybody's in shape, everybody's brought their best version, everybody's competing for that Mr. Olympia title. But again, it just goes to show where Sean and Keon are in this list. They're so far ahead of the 212 pack. And we were talking about this on the show, and as you guys have been talking about, it's been spoken that this was going to be a 2-horse race. And I was looking for that dark horse. I was hoping for the dark horse to come in and start shifting up the lineup. And there's a lot of potential in that 212 that is going to fulfill their physiques in the next couple of years. That's the most exciting thing for me. And even Keon and Sean, they're way under the weight. I think Keon was weighing 209 like 2 weeks out. So think about that.
Yeah,
like,
he was about 205 or so.
Yeah.
Weighing.
Most of the athletes that I stood against, we were all struggling to make that weight. Myself, Jose Raymond, Ascahani, and the list goes on. Derek Lunsford. And here we are now with two guys that are way within the weight that have got many years if they want to.
Flex, I have to ask a tricky question. You at your best today on the stage, what will happen?
I'd win. That's the champion's mentality, right?
Yeah. I expected that.
with it. Yeah, you got jiggy with
You
that
taught
one.
me this, Milos.
Of course.
All right.
Because I never won.
Milos had it 75 times.
I'm 1 and 71, but out of 72 shows.
I remember the one. Toronto.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll celebrate that anytime you want.
Yeah.
I tell them about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the knowledge has come up. I think what people are putting.
I have him in for tomorrow.
Tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Paul.
He can't,
Say the joke.
He can't hear you.
can't hear you.
Probably not.
Did not hear you.
2 Pauls.
It should have
on
the
him.
speaker there.
Said I'm gonna get on him.
Anyways, I mean,
I think.
did we speak about Carrick?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, when I saw, I thought he was going to be a little bit drier looking just from what I saw on Instagram, but I thought that was going to be my top 4, just as it happened. You know, it was going to be my top 4. So that's one thing I saw is that's the top 4 we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first call out. They had Ahmed Ashkanani in the first call out. Then they moved him out, and then they let him sit there and bring the other guys in, and even moved him out there.
Second call.
So this is where the guy from Italy, I think, that he moves into 5 or 6.
Because he was able to stand next.
Yes,
to
and there was another guy. I feel so bad because I don't even know his name. It looked unbelievable.
Yeah, there was 8, 9 guys that were phenomenal.
Yeah, so
but Nasser from Kuwait impressed me. Yeah, and then there was an African guy. I forgot the name.
Yeah, the South African.
Yeah, very, very good. Couple more. But here it is, Ashkanani, for example. We always said, okay, bring up the legs because the crazy upper body. But he was typical example of losing the stomach at times, and then that differential between waist and legs even more visible.
yes, it was.
And you can't afford this. When you have a smaller legs, you have to keep your stomach in and don't lose it at any time.
I think, unfortunately for him, the time didn't help him. It is continuously getting a little worse every year. And when he turned around, his hamstrings he didn't even, I mean, when he flexed them, you could see him. But other than that, it just looked like a big, just soft hamstring. And that's why I guess he was moved out. And I don't think he's going to make top 6 this year. So
And that guy's gone from second now to a second call out. So
yes.
just goes to show the competitive nature of the 212 now, that these OGs that are still in the game are now being
Right.
moved out now.
Yeah.
Is there any 212 guy that coming up, Flex, that you see that's going to be like somebody tough to beat in the future?
Good question. There's a few guys in Brazil that I've seen that just have that structure but don't have that size yet. names I couldn't mention, but I can't remember. I'm sorry, but there's a few guys that are in the lurks. I think that's the great thing about the 212 class. You know, obviously with social media these days, we all know who is coming, right? Especially in the open class. But you and I have spoken about this. The beautiful thing about 212 classic physique is you have these guys that just literally come from nowhere, where we used to all love. It's like, where the hell did this guy come from? You know, like Alex from Russia back in the day when he was standing in against Ron. You were like, where the hell did this guy come from? Training in a graveyard gym. But I love them stories, and unfortunately, no, social media doesn't allow that to happen as much. But I think the 212 class, you know, I'll stand and throw these guys out that are like, whoa, I love that.
Just like when you came along when you was a little kid backstage in England, and your face was so tight, looked like you had a facelift. You just and you was you back there. I'm gonna guest pose. Like, oh yeah, what's your name? Flex.
He mentioned the story yesterday.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night. We were talking about that last night.
I always say, oh yeah, okay, kid.
You were like, what's your name? I said, nervously, Flex. And I was trying to explain. I've had that nickname since I was 6. And Chris was about to compete, and he was like, okay, kid, I don't give a shit about your story. I'm going to call you Lil Flex. White Flex.
Little white.
Yeah.
I didn't do you like that when I met you. I didn't do you like that.
No.
I was just like, damn. When you saw the potential and you knew it was going to be, you know.
Okay, here is the question.
I knew it was gonna
Here is the question. If you say Flex in bodybuilding industry, who do people think of?
Oh, depends, I guess, right?
Depends on the person.
I was thinking about that, really. When you say Flex, who comes to mind first?
Yeah, that's why I didn't allow any other real deals coming out. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Who's the closest?
Take that off. Who's your? This dude had a real deal training team, coach team. I was like,
He came to,
I called him up. I said, hey, man.
That
Hey,
guy
bro.
came to Anytime Fitness.
I said, hey, brother. No.
He said,
No.
I'm the real deal. Yes,
No,
he
you're
did.
not, dog.
You talk about the guy with the, I'm the real deal. I go,
I remember. I remember.
I shut that down.
Hey, you guys
Oh, not
remember
the real deal.
what was the 212 Mr. Olympia, the first one?
202?
No, 212.
It was
David Henry.
David Henry.
David Henry, yeah.
David Henry is from Arizona, right? I used to live there, and I remember how pissed he was. That's many years ago when he saw
Giant Killer.
Sean Clarita call himself the Giant Killer. And I remember that he was really, really pissed.
He was pissed.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you know, and then look at it. And I remember, yeah, man, that's you, David. I mean, how can he just call himself the Giant Killer? Look where Sean Clarita is
But to
today.
be fair, I don't think he asked the original Giant Killer.
original.
Was it okay?
Danny
Because
Padilla.
I went that route and got an okay from Evander, so I felt okay about it.
What do you mean you call him?
you
You say
spoke
he's
it?
okay?
No, but I sent the message.
Send him a DM.
And say,
didn't.
if you mind, don't answer.
Because I went to his training camp. No, listen. I went to his training camp when he was training for one of his fights when I was in Houston, and I met him, took a photo with him and stuff like that, and said, hey. And then during his sparring match, he kept looking at me. I was like, he kept looking at me. Swear.
Chris, are you serious?
100%. I put that on my life.
I would understand if that would be out of the same sport.
Oh.
But it's a totally different sport. You can call yourself whatever
Well,
you
listen,
want.
but I looked up to him since 1984 when I was in high school when he did the Olympics, and I was like, man, I said, oh, we got some resemblance and stuff like. So I just patted myself after that the whole time. Even when I was competing in bodybuilding, '97 he went against Tyson. So I'm like, I'm getting this night of champions. You just knocked out Tyson. You just knocked out Tyson. I'm gonna beat Milos.
You got me.
You know what I thought? You know what I thought the
we
reason
both-
was you got the name?
What?
Because, you know, you had a phase where you're still good looking.
I was looking more. We were looking like each other.
You looked a
I was
little
pretty
similar
good
to him,
looking.
and I think
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
just gave him the
That's
real
what
deal name for
That's
that.
what it was about. But you know, time goes. You know, just like I said, my man had the not a wrinkle on his face. He was just a
He was
tight
little kid.
Just
Like,
wet behind the ears.
But you know what's funny about it?
So now we're saying I look like
He was
shit. That's what
always-
he's saying.
No, I didn't say
It's
it.
always been the same way. Like I saw him in the gym at Milos. I was like, you gotta go.
You know that look you had. You had the hair with
yeah,
the
the hair, real young kid. And I was like, man, you calling yourself Flex, huh? I said, man, that's a lot of weight to carry, bro.
I know.
Like, yeah, I know, man, but I've always had the name. So we started talking about what he did over in this country, and he was like, man, I don't know if I can compete here. We had a long conversation. I was like, bro, you gonna be real good.
I remember that. He was in your gym
In
at the
Milos.
front desk, and he was on zero carbs. So we spoke for about an hour.
Hour.
Melvin was never on zero
Supposed to
carbs.
be a zero carb.
Oh, here you go.
Crap. That was on zero carb.
That's one of those after
Zero carbs.
5 days of zero carbs, he comes 10 pounds heavier.
But Willis, did you know back then that he wasn't following?
Hey, come on.
He didn't know. He didn't know.
Yeah.
No, he didn't know till I got
You know
the
what?
champion.
He lied to me all his whole career. He lied.
Hey,
You know how I found out? after he divorced from his wife back then, she told me everything.
Tell all.
Oh,
You know what she told me?
do tell.
I was
Big
like,
lock in
"Are
the
you
phone."
serious?" I mean, it could be 2-3 weeks out from the show. He would wake up in the middle of the night and go to a store or gas station, I don't know, buy ice cream and cake.
Was that your thing?
hey. Sean will
I didn't like apple pie.
Apple pie is
He had an apple pie, and this is how I got caught.
Yeah,
so
okay.
he comes in and he got his apple pie, and he's like,
Do you know that story?
Apple pie Philly.
Okay, Night of the Champions, right? And I'm going with him. I'm going to be in the hotel room with him.
He was up
So he
there.
got the apple pie, right? Apple pie for next day. But I took a GHB and fell asleep. And in the morning,
Now's my
I'm
chance.
looking. There's no apple pie. So like, hey, what? Chris took it. It's okay. Maybe he's not going to be crazy to eat whole apple pie before prejudging. Later on, Chris, how was it apple pie? I said, what are you talking about? But on that note, did I know if Marvin is cheating? Sean would come before him to the gym, and he said, "I've seen your boy. He's in Sizzlers, killing it."
Killing it.
He's the one took me there, that some bitch.
He was
Ratted
half of
you
you to
out.
convince.
He
Come
said,
to
"Melvin, are
Sizzler.
you eating steak?"
But he did that to me also. He was at my house. He was standing you were sleeping in the living room, I think on the couch. Or,
Yeah.
on the
I
couch.
stayed there for 30 days.
And so I'm like, I made a trip that night to the kitchen. Because I said before that, I said, hey, if you go
The day before.
you go 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You go 6 weeks of not cheating, I'm going to treat you to some cake and a pizza. He said, oh, yeah, okay. Get down to the time. He's like, all right.
He went to the
ready.
Jerry thing across the
I
street.
said, okay, eat all you can. And I knew he had his stomach was so small, he wouldn't be able to eat that much. He had a couple bites of the pizza, a couple bites of the cake, and he was like, I don't want no more. Man.
Yeah, he said you can have as much as you want until you can't.
And I put it on the counter. I'm thinking, okay, it's safe to go. He ate it. He had his fill. He had enough. I went back there the next morning, and not the next morning, during the night, more of it was gone. I was like, damn, Melvin. I was like, that's.
I played sleep too.
Bro, I put it in the trash, right? I put it in the trash.
Dump spaghetti
This
on
boy
top of
went
it.
back in there again and went again. I was like, man, you took it out the trash and ate it again.
It was like crack.
Like
crack.
It's different from a European mentality.
He had that damn spaghetti on top
American
of it.
mentality is not 100%.
I'm not
It might
comparing
not
it.
even be.
I'm stuck in the middle of all this. I'm enjoying this story. Trust me, don't add me into it.
I went past.
No. What I'm saying is, the European mentality is different.
Yeah, it's different.
We follow. We stay strict.
Yeah.
You don't find as many people in Europe. I mean, I can only speak for Germany. That cheat. Most of them are just they follow instructions and they go as long as you tell them to. In the U.S.,
They smoke cigarettes though. Y'all smoke cigarettes and do cardio. Y'all crazy.
I didn't smoke the cigarette. I done
Backstage.
cardio.
Germans, them
Did
Germans,
you?
Marcus, David,
Backstage.
Dennis Wolf. I go, how you
yeah, but
do
Dennis
that?
Wolf stopped a long time ago.
He smoke. He's how you smoke after
Marcus
a show?
still
You
smoking?
smoke.
Marcus, no, I think Marcus stopped too. I don't
did he
know.
stop?
They were helping it. They said they helped their appetite. That's what I remember asking them.
Yeah, I get that.
Dennis told me he didn't start smoking until the shows, until contest prep, unless he's telling me a lie.
I don't know.
But
I
it
don't
dries you out too.
So it helps you
What?
eat?
It dries you out because I
Dries what out?
I remember when I used to
Dries
smoke,
out the throat.
When I used to smoke the marijuana.
That's different.
I went I went to Mexico one time and we couldn't find it. We went to the park trying to buy some mota. So then next thing you know, we couldn't get none. So I said, all right, give me some of these cigarettes. Man, I smoked with this girl for like the whole weekend, just chain smoking it. Man, I was like 10 pounds lighter when I
Okay,
got home.
this is to all the listeners.
nigga-
Please
Do not
don't.
smoke.
But don't do it.
It's a
Yeah.
smart idea
Don't
to
do
go
it.
buy a
Not
pack of
good for a
cigarettes to
bodybuilder.
dehydrate yourself because it's not working.
Disclaimer.
Okay, I don't know what else Chris was doing at the same time, but it wasn't the nicotine that got him shredded.
Or don't follow Kevin and drinking that damn vodka cranberry.
Well, alcohol will dehydrate you.
I
Though. That's
I can't do
something.
it. I follow JD Dowd do. I'll never do that again. Right before I went out there, I acted a fool on that stage.
You act a fool without alcohol.
Yeah, so add some
Exactly.
bourbon to it. He gave me some old bourbon. Yeah, try this bloody hell, you'll be great.
You just need
I
oxygen.
drunk that damn bourbon. I was out there shaking my whole ass.
Oh, shaking.
Shaking.
He's a shaking.
Shimmying and everything. I was like, I'm never drinking that again. I got loose.
All right, we got to go to the big boys tonight. Prejudging starts at, I don't even know what time they
10.
start. I know the final starts at 7.
Yeah.
But did you hear what they told them at the meeting?
Yeah, don't be going.
Guys, because a lot of people complain that they get on so late, but nobody ever told them you have to be here at 6. Nobody told them you have to be here at 7. So they told them at the meetings this time, specifically, you don't have to be there before 8 or 8:30.
Right?
So don't hang out back there and then complain that you have to be there for too long. Another thing that I loved, I heard it this morning. I was like, thank God, because it bothered me. You guys remember last year how they kept moving forward and almost fell off stage?
Yeah.
So they have boxes now for each guy. There's usually a box in the center. There's a box for
So
each.
ain't no cheat.
And if you come out of the box, now this is the new rule. If you step out of the box, you get 1 warning. The second warning, you're going back diagonal. And then you're going with the next call out. And that's where you're going to get judged.
Yeah. They said they'll put you back and you're judged based on what they've seen. If you move out to the box. So if you
That's
move
a
out the
good one.
box twice, they're going to put you back in, and what they've seen, they're done with you.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
That's right.
So now that will keep him in the box.
That'll keep him in that box.
Yeah.
That's a habitual boundary stepper.
I love to
Make
come out that
happen.
box. Yeah.
But you know they shaped
love to
the
come out that
sport.
box.
They shaped the sport like that over the year just because all the people doing all the different stuff that made that happen. You know, like for instance, people bashing into each other. You know,
Too
Steve
much.
goes crazy about that.
That was mentioned too. No touching each
pushing.
other.
Yeah.
No touching
Yeah.
each other. None of this.
Jocelyn.
None of this.
But,
none of that.
but listen, it's bodybuilding. We got to have a little.
Gotta have a little
fun.
bit of
Yeah.
tension.
It's like I think it's like football because when they were saying this, I'm thinking this is sort of like the NFL when they start to take away the celebration shit for that 1 year or
Right.
so.
No
And
dancing.
then they're kind of making like, okay, right. But that's what I was thinking. Oh man, it's gonna be like NFL in a minute.
But you can still cut up in that box. I mean, you just have to do it with your posing. That's what posing all about. Like how you said
Just,
that,
you
know,
can step to the line
Step
in
to
the
the
front
line.
of the box.
Yeah.
That line is
But all-
you be on your heel with your toes in the air.
You know I be doing it.
Yeah, you know, yeah. But
Your toes will be like this.
a lot of people
Standing on
start
your
to,
heels.
get the edge.
grab it with your toe and lean
Okay.
forward.
All right, so we saw Samson take off his shirt at the press conference yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
You had the best seat in the house.
I know Milos was there, but sometimes being too close is not good. So I know Milos was there. Chris, you were there. Were you there? Yes? No.
No.
I saw it on TV.
Okay, so we all been talking about Samson for years now. We said if this guy ever nails it, it's over. Okay? Now, we saw Samson 2 weeks ago in France, and I remember I texted him after that, and I said, listen, you're at a perfect spot for 2 weeks out. The day before the show, yesterday, you saw him. Do you think he's on point to be at his all-time best and be in Olympia condition?
I want to ask Milos because you've worked with him.
Well, yeah,
and you know this.
let me then go first and make it easy for you guys. I've seen him so many times, 3 days out, 2 days out, 1 day out.
Yes.
So I could say from where I was sitting that he was a little bit leaner and a little bit drier than normally he would be the day before. So, there's very promising look. Yeah, so, of course, it's nothing like you would expect from like Hari Chopin or some crazy conditioning, right? So when you compare to that, it's still missing. But I do think that we're going to, have a very good version of
So
something.
let me ask you this, because you just mentioned this. Now, if he was still working with you, and he would look the way he did yesterday,
Yeah.
what would be your protocol to get rid of the water?
Yeah, well, listen, this is how it is.
Because we know he
Okay.
doesn't like the diuretics.
Yeah, okay. Might as well, talk more. Since I started working with him, aldactone, spironolactone was not allowed to be used because he had a bad reaction on it before, so we never even used aldactone. We speak same language, right? You can go on the stage with or without diuretics. Hardly anybody does without diuretics. Now we can manipulate. If aldactone is out of the picture, you usually bring the diazide, unless you're waterlogged, so you have to take some loop diuretic. But he was always very conservative, and we always did like safe. So we did it from the first show. He was good enough, winning, and and I would always say like I would like to pull out more. Every time when I mention more, he would just walk out, and then I would be scolded. So like, oh, you don't tell him day before the show or day of the show that he needs to be drier.
Okay, so but that confirms
Right.
what I'm saying, that he doesn't like
So
be on diuretics. So
but then I came to the point and said, like, listen, it's a $300,000 for first place, right? And you just heard on Shannon Sharp with Ronnie Coleman, but he was losing to Jay Cutler after the prejudging. He came back and Chad gives him this magic powder that we all know what it was. Bumix, it was a little bit. And as Ronnie explained, he was going pissing like every 10 minutes and back and for 2 hours straight. Yeah, aggressive diuretic, right? So of course, from a health standpoint, people are going, oh, that's dangerous. When you're 300 pounds and your electrolytes are right, you're not cramping, and you're still taking sodium, you're still taking water, but you have to move that water out, you should, 60% is the water. If you're 300 pounds, how much water do you have in you? Is this really dangerous? So I do think that if he dehydrated himself a little bit more aggressively, even last year at Olympia, he would be a huge threat, and even an Arnold Classic. He would not be super shredded like Hadi, for example, but I think that conditioning with his shape would be good enough. Like we said, Keon beats Sean Clarida because just it's too much. It's overwhelming. Beautiful shape, V-taper, X-frame, tie-ins, everything.
Elos, what was the concern about him taking diuretics? Was it a factor of something that happened in the past that scared him?
Probably health-wise. You guys, I mean, it's not good to talk about. Why do I always have to? But Samson is a huge guy, name in the sport, and it's about to become a Mr. Olympia, right? So he had some things going. You remember how the first news when, he finally took Trenbolone. When we said he was not even going to use this.
It was,
So there was many limitations that, natural people would jump on me like, why you even push these things? There are certain things we use that make a difference. We talk about Nick Walker, looking almost natural, and maybe his things were not working. There's a certain look that is visible. So for him, he needed to look a little bit harder, and then he needed to look drier. And as far as dryness, I don't think he was ever dry enough. We talk Jay Cutler, 3 days didn't drink at all, and then he was cut with 5 diuretics on the list, 2001. Not 1, not 2, 5. Okay, so it's a part of the game, and I was just maybe it's good because they're very conservative and they're very careful. But when I come there, and Friday morning before the prejudging, I say you need to take it, and then he flips, and then his wife tells me, oh, you don't tell him that, he screws up his mindset. He's not dry, so the drier would be better look. So that's the whole thing, and I hope that they figure it out. And
but my question is,
what would you have
from what he looked like yesterday, as conservative as he is with diuretics, will he be able to pull it off to get in shape by tonight?
Maybe he's not going to be as conservative,
Okay. Flex, what do you think?
But he's going to pull it off? I mean, I've seen people just look crazy within 24 hours. So. Yeah. Where he was. I'm actually shocked that, the modern day bodybuilders, nobody wants to show themselves off, and I love the era that you guys competed in, because that was my magazine era. So, obviously the press conferences were always so hyped up. People would take the tracksuits off, give the crowd a little show and get the people excited. Obviously, now we're in this era, social media, what these guys are looking at, because they're posting the most muscular every fucking Monday, right? So then when it comes to a press conference, everybody was reluctant to show themselves. But Samson was like, I'm in shape, this is the best I looked. Let me show the world, let me rock the world, get people excited. So obviously he feels like he's in a position right now to cause a lot of heartache up on that stage, so he wanted to show it off. So they've obviously got a game plan, and that's part of it.
Yes, and he's confident, it's great, okay? He challenged you remember the day when Jay Cutler and Gunther and Ronnie and then sent Gustavo. I mean, it's nothing wrong. It hypes it up. Yeah. I don't know if he accomplished what he wanted. He was maybe hoping that Hadi and Derek was going to accept the challenge. I think that he looked tremendous. One thing about Samson, you can see his stomach is very much controlled and waist looks smaller. And then when he opens up, there are a couple of poses like, ooh. And I think that he improved his back dramatically. Not enough to Derek's lights out. How do I beat everybody else from the back? it's not just lights out from the back. You have to be Mr. Olympia, best bodybuilder in the world in each and every pose. And I just don't think that Derek has that.
Derek?
Yeah, Derek doesn't have a lights out, winning every pose, all 8 mandatory poses. He has, for sure, lights out back double biceps. Nobody touches. Even if anybody else improved, Derek is so dominant in that one. But I do think that Hadi is superior from the front, every pose. And side is also very questionable.
Did you have Hardy winning last year?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Me too. And I think Hardy's back is catching up. So there's not that big of a difference between Derek and Hardy if Hardy comes in super peeled tonight. Because I believe that Hardy catching up. But from the front, it's going to take some time for Derek to get that maturity. Because that's what's missing.
We talk about that.
Yeah, and Milos thinks that if it's not there now, he might never get there. I mean, might.
He was not there 2017, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's not even okay. So many years, he was always different person from the front, different person from the back. When he shows up on the stage, it's, oh, he's off. Okay. And then he turns around and back is super dry. Oh, I thought he was off.
Different
But then he
bodies.
turns again to the front, and he's still off. I mean, softish. So on your on your grand opening, he was there as a guest, and I used the term he had a baby muscle before in one of the podcasts because I'm big mouth and I say I don't filter anything, and I had to come to him and say, hey, listen, I apologize, but you know what I mean?
I think it's respectful. It shows that he's just got so much in the game to do, But that was a couple, 3-4 years ago, right?
3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Listen,
since then, okay, he's going to mature and it's going to get so much harder, and then he didn't. Even when he won 2021 to travel Olympia, he didn't, and then 2022 he didn't. 2023 he didn't.
Yeah, and as a top Olympia or Mr. Olympia or as a top Olympian competitor,
Yeah.
you need to be able to deal with, comments that are not always positive. Flex, you can imagine after winning a couple of shows, how many people want to see you lose.
Oh,
It's just, I don't know, it's just some people they just can't fucking deal with the fact that, you're just better than the other guys. And the same thing for Phil. Phil had to deal with a lot of hate,
We was getting on him before he even came in.
And I always say this, if you're in this sport and you are somebody in this sport, if you don't have skin thick enough to deal with comments from people with no faces, you're in for a long ride, because this is the worst thing that you can do.
Also, Derek had those baby abs for a lot of years. Like, he wasn't concentrating on
It's
his
just taken
his
away.
abs.
No,
but let me tell you.
I wanted to say this since 10 minutes ago.
You've been holding in.
But I wait for the time. But listen,
Exactly
but
right.
We'll
he
wait until
said
I
this
finish,
year.
but it's okay, Chris.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I forgot what I wanted to say.
Sorry.
You
I thought
got
said
it. You got it.
I thought you could. No, but you were talking about how Derek improving these areas or needing to with his chest, but also with the abs. And this year he said that he bumped up his ab training to 3 times a week. I would even like to see more than that. But
Do you believe he can get there?
Yeah, if he puts in the time,
Yeah.
but he wasn't really doing his abs before.
I believe it too.
Doing-
I believe on any given.
But you know why? Because he's still young.
Yeah.
I believe he still has a lot of years ahead
How
of
old is
him.
he now?
Derek?
30?
He's on 30.
mid-30s, yeah.
No, he's not in the mid-30s.
Not
He's
mid-30s, no.
I think he's 29 or 30.
Oh yeah, he's
And,
still got some.
and Lee Haney won at, 24, his first one?
He retired at 31.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
I'm pretty interested to see how Andrew's going to come in,
Yeah.
because I think Andrew Jack.
Andrew, okay.
I think he's got the most complete body up there. Period.
Well, he's got some
Genetically.
striated quads going
So
on.
if he's got some striations and can improve on some body parts, he can mess the whole thing up. I'm kind of pushing for him. So.
He's drying
But,
out.
yeah, with the way he looked at his last show that he won, I was like,
It's very possible.
if he come in here and he's comparable with that condition, he's beating everybody.
Has anybody seen him this week?
Oh, I haven't seen him.
I've seen a couple of little things.
But you know how I always do the checkups? I touch your back and holy shit! I touched his back before, and I touched last night, and it was like, holy shit, what is this? And so I'm telling him I'm going to shock the world. It's like, okay, he is considered. I think he's well over 300 pounds.
Yeah, Chris said last night he was 287.
Oh, really? When?
Just a minute ago. I'm getting
really?
here.
Who is 287?
Andrew Jack's 287.
Oh, that's a good
So
weight for him.
287 on that frame.
because
He about to punch somebody's head off.
Imagine he was 305 in Texas.
Texas, yeah.
He was. He
So
was.
now
Now I understand why Chris Aceto is saying he's winning the Olympics.
Oh yeah, I talked to
Yeah,
him.
he's convinced.
He's convinced. I
yeah.
said, "How was he looking?" And he's like, "That's my favorite." I said, "I'm pushing for Andrew Jack. If he came in with what I think he can come
I
in
would
with,
not have a problem if
Nobody
he nails
touching
it, because this would prove a point that Milo's been trying to make for years.
Yeah, he put it together. It's over
But
with.
the thing is, though, that guy, his body type with all those muscles, and like you say, I swear, I think some of these muscles not even on that.
Yeah, like, are you sure that's real?
It's not on the anatomy chart. No, not that. No, no.
That's not. Yeah, his structure is just genetically he's gifted.
Milos,
We-
sorry,
go ahead. No, you're the guest.
I was going to say, oh, thank you. I remember we had him over the gym, and it was the first time you seen him, right? And both of us, I think I came and got you, or
Yes.
it was like, Milos, come and see Andrew in the flesh.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago, maybe, or a year and a half ago or something.
No, it was probably almost 3 before his pro debut.
Came to see
That's
Flex
correct.
Wheeler at that time, right?
No,
Yeah,
because
he's working with Flex.
Yes, he was working with Flex, and I said, come and see this guy. And Steve Weinberger's at the gym, coincidentally as well.
but, no, first I just saw him with you.
Yes.
And the second time, Logan Franklin was there and we were posing, and then Andrew came and you got him and said, "Come here for Steve to see you." And first thing I said, first thing Steve goes, "Mr. Olympia." He didn't say nothing else. And that was before Texas, his pro debut Texas, not the last 2. So he did the 3 times Texas, right?
I know he's done 2. I'm not too sure, but
Three.
3 you said. Okay.
Yeah.
But look how much he's improved since that gym.
So the first year he beat Martin. Martin was second, and then second time was he beat Hunter, and this time he beat
Everybody else.
everybody else. Yeah.
I was impressed with the size that he put on, especially his front relaxed. His lats flares like twice as much.
Like a cape.
And his arms.
Okay, Flex. Can anybody beat Andrew in the front relax pose and Melvin? Because we talked about this already. You too. Front
go for it,
relax.
Melvin.
Front relax.
It's going to be tough.
It's gonna be tough to beat Andrew because he's got such a tiny waist.
Front lat spread.
Front lat spreads, you can't touch him.
Yeah, it's just that beautiful
touch him.
flow, too.
Flex. Front lat spread. Possible?
What was the question?
Yeah,
Sorry.
can anybody beat Andrew Jack in front lat spread?
I don't think so. I mean, it's...
I don't see none of them doing it.
Okay, abs,
what about-
abs and ties.
What about front double?
Abdominal and thighs still gonna be.
You already know that. Abs and thighs.
He's gonna get.
Hardy might give him.
How might give him a run?
No,
with that,
because you want
with
to have
that-
the legs. You want to have the legs or the attributes.
to me, it's
know.
the symmetry on that abs and thigh shot that Andrew
That,
takes.
man, I'm not picking nobody over
Jesus.
those abs.
There's some crazy people walking around here at the Olympia.
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, holy.
So we saw the press conference. They had 5 guys up there, right?
Yeah.
They have Andrew,
Hardy.
Johnson, Hardy, and Brandon. Now, is Brandon going to make top 5?
I believe it's possible, but it depends on what he brings. Which Brandon are we gonna see?
Brandon's been in
Well,
hiding.
think about
Yeah, I haven't seen
what if you see the best Brandon?
If he comes, I think he'd be in the top 5. If he brings his best.
I personally have Rafael Brandon.
What about, man, I saw Fitzwater, man.
I want to
That's
get to Rafael
nice.
because you see him and you guys are friends. I'm afraid. I had Rafael also in my top. But I saw a video and I saw him from behind. And yesterday I asked him to show me a picture from behind because he shows everything from the front.
Front, yeah.
I'm not worried about the front.
The behind.
I was worried about the behind.
The glutes
The behind
and the
did not
hamstring.
look the same. So I'm afraid that he put the size on 100%. His size is unbelievable. And I already thought at the Arnold that he was closer to Samson than a lot of people thought. But now with the new size, he's probably even closer than that. But is he bringing the condition?
You gotta have both.
No, I'm asking Flex.
I've seen him in the flesh, and I've seen some photos since the last time I saw him. And this is the best, no question. No question, it's the best version. Of course, I'm trying to be as neutral as I can and separate my brotherhood with him. But I've seen what the journey it's taken for him to get to where he's at. You know, I met this guy who jumped on a plane, came to Boca Raton, couldn't speak a word of English, was with me every single day for nearly 2 years during COVID, and we trained, no cameras, we didn't film any workouts, it was like old school, turn up, kill yourself, didn't have to appease any sponsor, we just work. Then he took that mentality, he opened up his own private facility in Brazil, and he's created his own camp. No distractions, no excuses. If there was an excuse, it was on him. And I've just seen this evolution, and now he's a dad. And that has fired something. That has fired something that even I was not expecting. this is the best Rafael Brandão. And as I said to him, realistically, and we've had these conversations, and I mentioned way back when, was us sitting on a dinner table saying, where do you want to be in a couple of years' time? I want to be on that Mr. Olympia stage, and I want to break into that top 5. And I said, this is it. This is the weekend where you cause that ruckus, and you're going to break into that top 5. You have every attribute to do that. No, if we say, is he contending against Hardy and Derek? No, that he's not near there. To your point, from the back, he just doesn't have that yet. He's still young, but he's hungry, and he knows that he's flying the flag for his nation too, and they're all behind him, and he understands that too. Yes, it comes with pressure, and we've had them conversations too where there is we all know how big Brazil fan base is. And them guys have their own social media, and you put one step in the wrong direction and everybody's coming after you. He walks that fine line of such professionalism, his mannerisms, his characteristics. He's already walking, talking and acting like a champion. On that stage, of course, none of that matters. But I truly believe if he can have them comparisons with the names you've already mentioned, Andrew, obviously taking Hardy and Derek out to the mix, I think he's looking at that 5th place, possibly 4th, who knows. But if I said to him too, if you get into that top 5, that is a win for you, and that is something to be celebrated.
But do Andrew have that same type of crispness in his glutes? Because that was the little area, his hams and glute area was never really that tight. Mine was never really that tight. I had like 2 or 3 on my best days. So, I mean, can
special light.
I counted at least 3. And and I did count.
Yeah.
But do you think that that'll be enough to have that strong front, strong side, not really that close to that way? And then you got Derek and Hadi. That's probably going to be the tightest in that area, in that smaller body lengthwise. But, I mean, is that going to be good enough for Rafael? For him, Fitzwater is going to be, I think, pretty damn hard. Probably the hardest he's ever been, and probably the best he's ever going to look up to this point. So I think Fitzwater is going to be a person that's going to sneak up in that top 6.
Are we disrespecting William Bonnac?
In a way, because we don't favor him, right? I talked to him yesterday, and it's like, look, we don't mention in the podcast, so maybe it's their fault. He was 2nd, right, at Olympia, and he looked close to that. They say, like, it's smaller. No, his legs are bigger than last few years.
Yeah, but his upper body is smaller. His arms are smaller.
Yeah, so if you fill up and get close to it, I mean, he's still going to be contender. He has a crazy dryness and density and shit.
But what if we talk about shape?
Shape, yeah.
It's going to be hard.
He'll never have a wide back. And
he has the muscularity, but now this guy's there with Andrew Samson, Derek. Those are all shape guys. He's not. I don't think he's able to. Listen, I love William, and I just don't think that this is the shape that can stand next to these guys and still compete for a top 5 or top 6 spot. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I think that Brandon will probably hit that 6th spot before William.
He's got that shape.
When he was doing it, I mean, if you look at the body types of a 25-year-old, a 35-year-old, a 38-year-old, and a 40-year-old, the nitrogen balance in that muscle is going to be different as you get older. Yeah. It's not going to push the skin like it used to. When he took 2nd, that muscle was pushing the hell out of that skin. And now you can't push the hell out of that skin like that anymore. No matter what you do to it, mechanically or physically, whatever you do, it's not going to be that same look.
Yeah, I think also the guys got to fight through it. They're posing. People try to take away from the posing. Yes, it's not for the entertainment. It's not for for points. But being posed next to each other, there's still a fight there. So it depends on how they present what they've earned. You know what I'm saying? If you're just standing there like a statue, it's going to be hard for you to keep that attention of the judges because they're moving so fast. So that battle that's going to be between a Derek, a Hadi, and an Andrew, or a Samsa, a Derek Lunsford going at it, are they going to stand there and play and like they usually do and pound, or are they going to go at it? Are they going to really pose shot for shot? Because it's going to get to a point where it's going to boil down to one shot.
Flex, did you ever have that type of feeling like when you're towards the end of your career?
PJ Dillashaw is waving at us in here.
Yeah, all right.
The champ, UFC champ. Sorry, Chris.
I was going to say, did you ever have that feeling that the muscle's not pushing the skin like it used to toward the end of your career?
No, I think I had a lot more in the tank because I never got to see the best version of myself. I always had to suck into that weight class.
Right.
So I don't know if you guys seen any photos. I know Milos, you and I used to send some photos back and forth, but around 4 weeks out, I was ready to step on stage, and I was like 220 something, and it was all about the scale at that point in time. So even I knew what I looked like when I was not even trying to stay big. I was trying to get on that scale and make that 212. So no, I felt very fresh. The problem for me was the food. When I went from sucking it in for all them years and just over compounded times, my stomach got so small, to then go the complete opposite and having to force feed myself, that was the toughest thing for me.
I had to never go through that.
Huh?
Well, I never had to do that. That's like wrestlers. Got to make weight.
Nah, man, just let me go against whoever. It's very difficult to make weight.
So prejudging is going to be tonight. So we have a lot more to talk about tomorrow because we can talk about what we saw. But let's just predict just a little bit here. And I know it's going to be hard. And what do you have winning?
Oh, winning? I don't know. Winning, it's going to be that toss. I'm also a big fan of the sport, so I know it's going to be that big battle up there between Hardy and Derek. I could say it's after prejudging, of course. You know, no matter what, I could give you my top two, but my top
because
five.
You just mentioned Hardy and Derek,
yes.
So you're not including Samson or Andrew in that. So you think it's going to be between Hardy and Derek?
You know, I kind of open my mouth before even thinking about it, you know. So I think that the great thing about this Mr. Olympia is we've got so many athletes that have so much more improved, right? We've mentioned Samson, Hardy, Derek, Andrew Jack, thank you, Milos, Rafael Brando, Martin Fitzwater. I think that obviously the top three is going to be pretty contested. And that mix is going to be in that, I don't know.
All right, different question.
Totally
different question. Who's your dark horse that's going to make a name for himself at this year's Olympia?
I think outside of Rafael Brando breaking in that top five, which I feel is very possible, I think he's going to be somewhat of a talk of the show. I think Andrew Jack is going to be the dark horse because I'm hearing very, very reliable sources saying just incredible he is right now.
I didn't even think I have Andrew Jack up in the front somewhere, so he's not even a dark horse for me because I already think that's where he's at. But I'm thinking someone that we haven't really talked about.
I got Fitzwater.
Yes,
Fitzwater as well.
For example, that's what I'm thinking too. I think Martin Fitzwater is going to prove that he is here and here to stay. You know, it's just going to be his first Olympia. You remember what we used to say, or what I was told? First Olympia, get your feet wet.
Get your feet wet.
Your feet wet.
Get your butt in the water.
But there's always that, you know, there's a couple of people, they came to the first Olympia and they made an impact immediately. You know, and I think this is a perfect year for a guy like Martin or Rafael, even though Rafael is not first Olympia, to really shine. You know, even if you don't get compared with the top two or top three, but to come in and, you know, place in the top five, that's huge. That's huge. It's like me when I placed top four. I was in the top four with Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, and Dexter Jackson. I was like, how much better can it get? You know, I wasn't even mad, even though I thought, maybe I could have snatched third, but I didn't. I was happy,
Just to crack it, it's very difficult.
So I understand what these guys are going to feel when they really get in that first call out. That first call out.
Yeah. It's time to get out.
Bro, you remember the goosebumps you get when you're on stage and you feel like, wow, I'm getting them right now.
Yeah, showtime.
Yeah. You remember the goosebumps?
Showtime.
Here's Samir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Samir, the legend.
Samir, come here, take my place.
What's up, buddy?
So, Mike.
How you guys doing? Are we here? Are we on
We're still
commercial?
on. We're still on.
I can't hear anything.
All right, we're still live, guys. We're still live.
So who do you have winning? I personally.
I think he knocked me out.
Okay, guys,
Who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to make a room.
Hey, Milos, before you go, Are we still live?
Carrot gold.
Nothing's happening.
Milos, can you hear me? Can you
I'm sorry.
I hear you fine.
Oh,
Big Dennis.
They say you got to eat the mic.
I was gonna. Dennis, can you hear me?
Better late than never.
Yeah.
We have a tech. Oh, I think they can hear us on the speaker, but we can't hear the headphones.
I hear my
I
headphones.
can hear my headphones.
Okay, we're back.
I'm back. I was gonna.
Okay.
Milos, is there anybody in the show that we have mentioned before you shoot off?
Yes.
That is a dark horse to you that we have mentioned already that you're excited to see.
I think that you mentioned everybody. I mean, Foda has phenomenal physique. I still don't think he's there at the level of Martin. And I've seen Martin, and I was shocked with it. Because every time you see the pictures, you get some idea. But then when you see really, skin, and it's like that,
Brainy.
well, onion skin, as Samir likes to say it. Yeah. And then you start really appreciating he has no flaws. He can have a bigger peak on the biceps. But even now, when he lifts the biceps above the shoulder, it looks great. I think he's going to battle with
I'm happy you're
Ronaldo.
here.
Because you seen him a couple of days ago in the gym. Right?
Yeah.
I seen your post.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But pictures, I'm serious.
That's what you said.
If I would see the
Okay.
picture, I said, okay, it's
Yeah.
same old Martin.
Okay,
But I've seen him up front.
Milos would not get up, but I know he's got to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Milos,
gotta go.
get to your booth because I don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because the fans waiting for you.
All right.
We'll see you. We'll see you back again tomorrow.
Love you, bro. Love
Samir,
you.
take over.
Thank you. Okay.
Hey.
I want to say I want to welcome 1983 Mr. Olympia,
So good to see you, my brother.
Mr. Samir Banu,
Dennis.
the Lion from Lebanon. And I also
Closer on the mic.
I have another guest.
Closer.
Happy to be with you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
I have another guest, Mr. Eric Stoffers. He's going to come here now. He's the owner of BioAccelerator, the stem cell company in Colombia.
And I got my black card today.
You good?
I just happened to.
You had it before. You
I was
lost it.
No, I was in the elevator with her, and I said she had her shirt on. And I was like, I've been in touch with you." She said, "Yeah, yeah, Chris, come in." She's like, "How you doing, Mr. Accelerator?"
All right. I'm going to welcome Mr. Eric Stoffers, the owner of BioAccelerator. Everybody knows BioAccelerator now. It's the famous stem cell company in
Colombia.
working out of Colombia, Medellin,
Yes.
Colombia. Eric, thank you for making the time. I also have Mr. Samir Banu, 1983 Mr. Olympia. And we were just talking about what's going on tonight, but since Eric is here and Samir, I want to focus a little bit, just because I know he's busy, he doesn't have a lot of time, just focus a little bit on stem cells. Flex, you were one of the first guys that ended up in Colombia with
Yeah.
BioAccelerator, right?
Then these guys talk tremendous. I mean, we've spoken about it so many times. You guys looked after me tremendously, and I was a true patient. I went out there. I got all the bells and whistles because my goal was to just get back on that Mr. Olympia stage with I had tore my shoulders, and then there's stuff that was new. I had it throughout my career, and I thought if I'm going to go up in the open class, I got to get these things fixed in this time of me taking it off. So I had my shoulders, my elbows, my knees done, and we also had done some stuff for my gut as well. And then I took a lot of time off because that was the doctor's orders. Obviously, think about it, inflammation, right? If you're training, that inflammation is going to be chased. So I just let the stem cells do its job, and I ate accordingly, stayed away from caffeine, stayed away from alcohol. All were tough. And I came out the other side incredibly well. I felt so youthful, and in my training there was no little niggles and aches that I kind of dealt with, and I forgot about them. So I know the benefits of stem cells, and obviously now with my torn tricep and my shoulders and everything else, I need to get back out there because I need that kick in the ass again. But I'm not coming back. Just to let you know.
Yeah, well, we have to make maybe an arrangement for you to get back on stage. Because you're still how old are you now?
40.
So you're still young,
Still
man.
a baby.
Stem cells are the fountain of youth. We can accomplish that.
Yes, look at me, 58.
Yeah.
You look incredible, I'm not going to lie.
Don't look it, bro.
He does.
How does
Get a
that
little
system-
closer to the microphone so we can hear you, Samir.
You don't
Just
look
pull
it.
it towards you.
You're doing good.
He
How was that?
He won't
That
do that.
better?
I'm asking
Yes.
him.
much
Oh,
better.
okay, good.
Yeah, it's for the fans so they can hear you because we live.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I'd like to know, because I'm new to it, does it matter if you have, a lot of guys come in with the aches and pains, but what if you have a fresh existing injury?
Yeah. One of the things that we excel in is the treatment of professional athletes, and especially the guys that continue to re-injure themselves. So stem cells, that's all of us. Exactly.
I just did it, so that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, surgery is still a miracle, and that still is one of the modalities that you have to do sometimes when you have major tears, ACLs, PCLs, MCLs, those kind of things. If they're complete tears, you're still going to need to have you do surgery. But if they're minor tears or you're just working through some nagging injuries, which I'm sure everybody here is doing and has to do, especially when you get to an elite level. These are the treatments that we would suggest in preventatively using stem cells instead of always reactionary, which of course is going to happen, but also preventatively. So we have people that come in, our professional athletes come in once a year to do spot treatments and to do preventative treatments to get them through their camp in MMA or to get them through the NFL season or whatever it is. But then of course when you're injured, yes, stem cells are going to help you heal faster.
And that's how I found out about you guys, is because that's all my circle of friends, a lot of the fighters, and Frankie Edgar and Usman were out there.
Yep.
Or they were going out there, and for whatever reason, because of fights and stuff, they pushed their time back. So I hit him up and I said, hey, I know you guys were going to BioAccelerator. How was your experience? He's like, I'm out here right now, funnily enough. And that was the second time they've been out, and I've seen what they've been able to do in their career. Again, listen, that is true damage. If you look at athletes on scales, yes, bodybuilders are putting in the work in terms of getting in there and pushing heavy amounts of weight through injuries, but these guys are going in every single day in sparring and taking trauma. So if there's no better patient than a fighter, I don't know what is. So that's where I had my first connection with you guys, and of course within a couple of weeks they found out where I was and what was going on with my current situation with injuries, and these guys got me fast passed out there straight. We want you back on that Mr. Olympia stage, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man, and anything we can do to help in the future.
Yeah, and that was how many years ago?
That was 4 years ago.
Okay, so now let me tell you this, and you talk about the professionalism 4 years ago, and I can tell you this now, it gets better every damn year. I was there the first time, July 4th, 2023, and I've done nothing for injuries, just literally I just did the IV just for general health and just for well-being. I wanted to try, and the main reason was because I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, it's undifferentiated connective tissue disease, which I don't understand all that shit. But what happens is my body creates high inflammation, and then inflammation will go attack certain joints or whatever. And there's an inflammation level that's you probably know better than me.
Talking about a specific protein like the CD34.
So yeah, whatever level that should be 30 or under, mine was 52.
Wow.
So and that was pretty high.
Is that your age, or what was that the
So anyway, so I did some research, and I researched a little bit of stem cells, and I was like, yeah, that's actually perfect for inflammation. I went out there, I did the IVs, and literally ever since then, every time I test with the rheumatologist, my inflammation level is low.
Crazy.
Really?
So extremely low compared to average person.
And you do look younger for some reason.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah, he been doing masks. He been putting masks on at night.
I'm telling you,
that's the same thing too. I mean, you guys looking good.
I'm telling you, because here's what because I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I know it helps, but I don't know. Do I feel it? It's not like you smoke a joint to get high, and then it's kicking in. So I was expecting it. I was like, okay, let's see what happens. I got the IV only. I was like, okay. I literally 2 weeks later, and I don't know if it's my mind, but I went back to the gym, something that I didn't want to do no more because I had no motivation.
It's not a placebo. It does work.
Yeah. I was back in the gym training.
So you felt it.
And I felt great. I was doing more sets than I really planned on doing. I never do a whole lot of sets. I was just in there. I said, okay, this stuff is working. But it continuously got better throughout the year. So literally now, 2-3 months ago, that's before I went back again, I started feeling another kick. Like, it's just, I don't even know how to explain it.
A lot of people think that like I was saying before, the professional athletes that we treat are using it as kind of their secret weapon, right? But average guys also notice something just from getting that systemic IV. A lot of times their companions or their friends go, yeah, you say exactly what you just said to him. Hey, you actually look better. Your skin looks better. But one of the things that is also a cool side effect is you're kind of restoring yourself back to the teenage years. So from a guy's perspective, and I'll just tell you my own personal, hopefully your audience is mature here. But
Very mature.
Right?
Oh, we're fucked.
I woke up like a teenager. I didn't think I had a problem, but every morning after stem cell, about 4 weeks after, I woke up like a teenager, and I was like, wow.
Woke up on the kickstand.
Woke up on that kickstand.
It's that flagpole.
Woke up on that kickstand.
I can vouch for that.
How many million cells do you use each time you travel?
It depends. If you're talking about me, I just go by body weight. So it's usually 1.5 to 2 million stem cells per kilo.
Okay.
That's just kind of a basic. But if we're treating autoimmune disease or something more specific, like a neurological condition, this is what we see, what we do with our UFC fighters and our high-impact sports like NFL guys. We have a CTE treatment, so that's a different methodology. But just basically 1.5 million kilos
Would that
per
be
kilo.
taken locally or intravenously?
I'm just talking about IV, but we also do all interarticular, intermuscular, interthecal, lumbar puncture.
I can tell you what I did
Do a diagnosis
this last time. I did 160 million IV.
Wow.
I did my wrists, my knees, my whole back, from the neck all the way down to the booty.
Yeah.
I trust you.
I had lower back.
You.
I had lower back pain. You know how we all deal with lower back pain. It's always manageable,
Wow.
but you have certain phases where it gets so bad, where you have to literally deal with it for like weeks until it goes back to manageable pain. My back pain is gone, and I was there August.
And how many treatment did you use?
Just one.
Only
Lord have
one.
mercy.
One.
Wow.
I'm gonna need
Samir,
it.
I kid you not, and I don't get paid. Trust me.
No, I trust you.
I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with back pain that I would never complain about, because you would never know I have it, because it's not that bad, but it's always there. For 2-3 years.
It's so good to know. I mean, I heard Flex talking too. I mean, it's
I
amazing.
never knew my back was so messed up, and it wasn't really my lower back that was hurting. It was my neck that I don't even feel that. Because I remember I did the MRI down there. Thank God to BioAccelerator, they hooked that up, that I got an MRI done so they could see. And the doctor, he looked the MRI. He told me, he
Did
said,
he pull his glasses down?
I don't know how you can move around without being in pain.
I mean, your inflammation was way down. That's really
Way
awesome
down.
too. Yeah.
That's
Way
the
down.
first thing that the mesenchymal stem cells do, is they attack inflammation, and they home throughout your whole body when you're getting the IV. But we have two great neurosurgeons that do specific.
How would you concentrate on the back? Because that's my biggest issue, is the back.
We have neurosurgeons that specifically, they're fellows in spine, and they will inject interdisc and interfacet and intermuscular around
Throughout the
connective
whole
tissue.
back.
You know, Eric, I have a quick question for Eric.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I did a stem cell treatment. I was in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Okay.
And the reason why I wanted to do it, because in the past 2 years, my hearing drastically messed up. I swear to God, it was this crazy drop in my hearing. So someone told me that you could shoot it in an area where it reactivates the follicle. You got follicle right behind your ear. But I don't think that procedure is perfected yet. What do you say on that?
I would agree. Yeah, all of our research has shown that there are some clinics that are studying that.
Yeah.
The injection, you have to be a very specialized, specific physician to do that.
Okay.
We do not have that on our staff, so we do not do that treatment. But there is some global evidence that shows that it has very promising.
Even the intravenous injection
So-
could actually help it.
Yeah, so that's what I'll tell you. We have rock stars. I mean, we're talking about the highest level rock stars that you could even imagine. They come in just to do an IV because they want to help that potential hearing loss. Now, there's not a lot of evidence to say that that's exactly going to work.
But it's in process. We're working on it.
Yep. There's some good clinical trials out there.
I can tell you what Chris Bumstead did, because Chris Bumstead has an autoimmune disease that affects his kidneys, and he went to Dubai. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is what they did. They directly injected in the vein that goes into the kidney,
Wow.
the stem cells.
So like a local. They did it like a local.
Yeah,
like-
right into the kidneys.
Woo! It's a long.
There's some vein I can't remember. Look what we have here.
Doc would know.
Look what we have here.
But boy,
Also by accelerator.
Yeah. We didn't even
we try to get the ball. We try to get over that ball.
I'm gonna need it.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna.
Come on around this table.
PG.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm gonna need to buy an accelerator. I got my black card today, so
Yeah.
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna need it for the router to the
If you got the
tutor.
black card, let me hold something.
When I jumped onto the table earlier, the first thing I hear, I put my headphones on, and Chris says, "I got my black card today." I was like, "What the fuck conversation am I walking
What
into?
black card? You were born
What am
with a
I
black
walking
card.
into here?" Yeah.
I got 8 of them to give away.
What is it?
No, it's just.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Where am I at? I hope you got me on the list for the black card.
You're on the no-fly list.
No, I'm good.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Are you good?
Man, I talked to him yesterday.
Always been
All
saying
right.
he's
He
good.
said I'm good. He's like, oh,
You would say you're good when you wasn't good.
Hey,
So
check this out.
Break a
I'll
leg,
get
break a
over it.
leg, and we'll get you covered.
I got on a no-fly list for a minute because of the COVID stuff and the mask. I had a flight attendant that just busted my balls the whole flight.
Oh, she did?
Cops pulled me off in
This is-
Miami.
No,
Man,
No.
it was all fucked up. I'm back on. I'm good.
back on.
you got to get her.
This is
Just
what
on
I-
the no
this is
fly
what I
list
was talking about.
for certain airline.
Just
Okay,
for certain-
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's because you
okay,
didn't put a
okay.
mask on?
Yeah. She woke me up. It was falling below my
Yeah.
nose. I was sleeping, and she woke me up. She like shook me, kind of like
Like
vigorously.
hard.
I was pissed. But yeah, she said I had to pull my mask out. Okay, fine. The guy next to me had his mask off, and I go, well, what about this guy?
I'm
He goes,
drinking.
Oh, he's
See,
having
I'm
he has
drinking.
coffee.
Yeah.
I said,
Oh,
well, then give me
unbelievable,
fucking
right?
coffee. Give me
Unbelievable.
coffee. So the whole trip, every time she saw me, I had the coffee.
You reminded me, I actually went out to Colombia at the beginning stages of COVID. And you guys had all the loopholes and everything else that we had to go through. But even so, even when I was there, I don't think it could have been a better experience for me personally. We were kind of dancing around, and obviously everybody was trying to stay open during that times. But when I had my treatments out there, again, from the moment that I arrived, you guys picked me up. The time I got to my hotel, everything was taken care of. Then I went to my first procedure, which everything is connected, if nothing has changed. Everything's connected to the hotel, so everything was in walking distance. And I went there during some time too. There was a massive fireworks display there. I don't know if it wasn't 4th of July, but I was saying I went there at the beginning stage of COVID. And
I would love to get stuck in Colombia.
Yeah.
Well,
beautiful.
I heard it's beautiful.
Yeah, what'd you guys think, by
I've
the way?
never- I've
Everybody's
never been
scared of it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
now
No, I've been to
Scared of
Colombia
the
10
mafia.
times.
I felt safe.
I hear
I did workshops there, trainings.
How many treatments?
Love meeting
Had
you.
one.
I hear that you guys are an excellent host. Also, I hear about
Awesome.
outside of the treatment stuff, like it's things to do. It's the
Yeah.
beautiful mall and the great food.
I'd like to see
So
it.
I hear a lot of great things. I wanna
Just
check it out.
Yeah,
just
excursions.
do the paperwork, Chris, and stop bullshit.
I'm ready to rock. I already got the
What-
go
what-
ahead.
I'm ready
I
to
got
go
my
back.
connection. I'm
What is-
going.
What is
Eric,
the paperwork entail?
he was already
Hey.
in the process of one
Just
time.
give me.
Cool.
Just
Just
give
couldn't
me.
even
I've
fill out
never
the
seen-
paperwork.
Treat me from the rooter to the tutor. I'm ready to go.
You're in. Done and done.
Yeah, stay away from that area.
Yeah, but
Ready to
listen,
go.
it's. I think it's going to be the biggest thing, and I'm also going to introduce you guys to the federation because we have so many athletes.
Oh yeah, you need that.
A lot of
Everybody has problems. I mean,
Everybody,
So
Yeah.
this is, even the UFC, and even though it's not bioaccelerated, it is signed with a stem cell company.
Yeah.
It's growing.
It's growing. Yeah. And I think-
Awareness is there.
Yeah, thank goodness, because it's actually kind of criminal in my opinion in the sense that I can't market like a traditional company. I'm out there doing good for my community. We're producing and administering the highest level science and are getting real results, and we're proving it. We're spending a lot of money on our research and development and tracking our patients, so we're doing it the right way, and I can't put an ad on Facebook or on Instagram or say anything about stem cell. So I rely on guys like you to talk about it. So thank you for the
That's
forum.
too bad because Big Pharma don't play that.
Yeah, they
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I get you, and we will. But I want to say this because you guys might not know that stem cells work, from what I heard. So now you might be able to explain it to me a little bit better. You can even put it in your da-da.
Hey, you thought that thong?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't tell me that.
I'll be interested.
Are you admitting something right now?
I want the full confidence.
I want my steel to be.
I want the full confidence that you speak of.
I want all that confidence.
I heard that it doesn't even really hurt that bad, but the thought of it for me is
Man, come on with it.
Yeah.
I ain't scared of no.
What is there anything? What about the pain? The pain involved in it? Like he said, he did his wrist.
Okay, I can tell you this.
What hurt the worst?
What happens is once they shoot like in wrists or knees, it's going to create an inflammation. Now, it's going to get sore.
What about the initial?
No. The injection itself was nothing.
It's just an
nothing.
injection.
Listen, I did it even in my face. It was nothing to me.
The truth is coming out. That's why he's looking so good.
That was just now.
This is why he's looking so good. I didn't get that.
But it's not like Botox or nothing. It's just to help you with the cells. You know, maybe you age a little bit slower. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it creates inflammation. And I had my knees were sore, but my wrists hurt me little. Oh, it was. I was like, fuck, what did I do? You know, I should have just left it the way it was. But it's just literally just, if it's long, you feel it for maybe 24 hours, maybe 48. But, you know, it was only real bad on my left side, but the other side was just sore. It's just, you know, we all deal with pain for so many years. This is nothing. My whole back, nothing.
It depends
you said
on the
something
injury.
about squatting, though. So I remember we had that conversation. You was like, I
was-
squatted for the first time. You said you went down to test the first one, and the second one you
Listen,
was like,
they told me that's going to take about 3 to 6 months.
before
At
you
least
could squat.
No, not before I really should feel something.
Like the optimal results start around 3 months.
Yes.
Okay.
But they start right away, but it's just like it depends on the level of pain that you have or the level or range of motion that you don't have.
So I was stiff with my lower back. I have, you know, in the morning you got to stretch yourself to put your shoes on. You know, it takes a couple of minutes, and I haven't squatted or bent over rolled in years. And I swear to God, a couple of weeks ago, when did I tell you? A couple of weeks ago,
you
I
said,
said, let me get under that squat rack to see if I can even bend down. I mean, just sit down. Man, I was doing like 8 or 9 sets, up to 2 plates. You know, not a whole lot of reps, but I was pain free.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, tomorrow I probably won't be able to move. Because this is what happens. Certain things you do that
And
will
then
just
3 days later. So what
activate it.
happened 48 hours after you?
Nothing. I'm
good.
pain fucking free.
I wanna walk through the airport with my big hat on like a Rampage with the big. That's what I want to be that guy.
We have an extra one.
But a lot of people should understand that just because it works great for one doesn't mean it works great for everybody.
But across the board,
That's
sure.
a good point.
But I haven't heard a bad review yet. I haven't heard one from Curly Top. I haven't heard one from.
I think Flex was being generous in the sense that I don't know that he got optimal results, and sometimes it takes, and that's okay because look, this is medicine, guys. It's not a magic pill. It does matter on how severe the injury is, and sometimes we have to go back and treat again, and sometimes, unfortunately, there are non-responders. You know, but it's not typical, and where you might come in with a shoulder and a knee and a elbow, maybe you get great results in your shoulder and your knee, but the elbow didn't even work at all. So it is still a new science that has a lot of room to grow.
I'll take 2 out of 3 all day.
Well, I say my elbows were always sore, tendonitis. Granted, I think the combination of taking some time off the gym, forced time off the gym with the stem cells, but my knees have been the best responder to me. And if you want a better testimony, take bodybuilding out of that. With the guys over by your accelerator, you would have celebrities with the clients. So you give the clients a little bit of an experience. I'm sure you were with, the patients out there. I was there along with another athlete as well as a porn star. And that porn star fucked up her back. And right now, she's back in the game. So if that's not a testimony,
all the way in there.
Let's go.
Somebody blew her back out.
And I'm not paid to.
Taking all the back shots.
All the shots.
She's back in business.
She's back in business.
Listen, it helps everybody, but there's levels to it.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say this. For me, it's probably better than expected because I didn't expect it to be so quick. So knowing from what I know from last year, from just the IV, that it continues, it just kept coming.
Like
You
it
know,
takes about.
it
It worked for 6 months, right?
No.
It could work forever for some people.
Oh, really?
It starts really kicking in 100% maybe after 6 months.
Oh.
Even with the IV, they told me up to 12 months.
Oh yeah.
And
Gotta
I
get
can
in
literally say 8, 9 months later, I felt it.
And
wow.
it just
I
keeps,
felt it's still doing something.
yeah,
I
it
can
just
see
keeps
it.
building. It builds and builds and builds and gets better. Now, it could be forever, a one and done shot. That's actually part of the problem with my company. I have a shitty business model. I want to treat somebody once and never see you again. But the truth is, with professional athletes like you guys, you're going to continue to injure yourself and need to come back.
Always
we
creating
have
trauma.
tons of inflammation. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
When you work out for 50 years, you're gonna
Yeah.
have a lot of tear, and
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, the porn star you were talking about, she also got our sexual wellness, and so I think she's back in the business, and the guys are happier too. Not
What is,
because
what is that? What is sexual wellness?
She ain't dried all the way out.
Yeah.
Should have shot in the.
right
in the heel.
inside.
No.
Oh yeah.
Eric is.
She got a few shots in there.
Yeah. she
I was
she did a
told that you're
restart.
not supposed to take anti-inflammatory medication while you're on that treatment. Is that
Correct.
true?
Yeah,
Right,
that's
Tylenol.
correct.
Tylenol is what you get.
No ibuprofen, nothing.
No, for the immediate time after, let's say certainly within the first 48 hours, but maybe even the first week, we like to keep you off anti-inflammatories.
I got you.
No caffeine.
Yeah, the inflammation process is very important to the healing and regeneration process. It's horrible beforehand, so we start you with a pre-regimen of an anti-inflammatory diet. Like Flex is saying, we try to get you off of coffee and alcohol and all the kind of the vices that are also very pro-inflammatory, and we'll do that leading up to the treatment for about 30 days before.
Oh,
Can you talk about that new test that they did this year that they added this when they pull your hair?
Yeah, we do an epigenetic test. So we have epigenetic. So it's just a pull of a little a hair. So we get your hair follicle and run it through our
I had to
scientific.
take my eyebrow.
I got hair on my head. Chris, you got hair on your head? Take it for the beard.
got hair in my head.
But that helps us design our compounds for our orthomolecular IVs that we give you during the treatment. So it's not just stem cell therapy. This is something that we do different than most companies. We take you through I told you about the pre-regimen, but we also, when you're in clinic, we give you supportive and alternative therapies like cryotherapy and red light therapy and ozone therapy. But
So-
these IVs are now compounded specifically for what your body is deficient in.
Well, that's the whole idea. I mean, you
Wow.
guys are perfectionists. I mean,
Wow.
you
Yes,
apply the science
absolutely.
of eating
I'm like-
properly with it, how to make it accelerate and work much better.
100%.
Samir,
Yeah.
if you go there, this is not like, oh, I'm going to Colombia, I'm going to get this quick treatment and then I'm going to have fun. No,
Yeah.
you're going to be busy. You're
I
going to
got
have 3-4 appointments every day.
Yeah.
You be coming back and forth to do your appointments for 4 or 5 days straight.
Well, you lucked out. You was the right people.
Thank you. Yeah, that's actually one of the barriers. You know, we're dealing with very busy people. Unfortunately, our therapy is not covered by insurance, right? So it is also expensive. You know, it's around $20,000 a treatment, with big guys like you even more. But so it's not covered by insurance. So it's usually higher net worth individuals or people that are in the right mindset of prioritizing their health instead of maybe a new car or a vacation. But it is a 4 to 5 day treatment, and so that you have to be prepared for.
I'm an experienced too.
Eric, let me tell you, sorry to cut you. He's 58, I'm 68. And I did that one treatment, and I'm telling you, no bull. My pump was even better than usual. And if I take my shirt off, you think I'm
Take it off.
45.
Yeah.
No bullshit.
He just wants to take a shirt
Yeah.
off for show.
I want to show the abs. Show the abs.
I'm not gonna
Don't start no stuff up in here.
No.
Now this guy could have been Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
He could have been. You know why? Because Hardy Chopin won the Olympia, and he used to beat Hardy all the time.
What did that tell you? I told you.
I was
told you,
should've
Flex.
coulda.
I was telling
Flex, I
him-
told you.
What a shoulda coulda.
I was telling Flex
Flex
that
won
for
the
years.
Olympia 7
I'm
times.
right.
Yeah.
7
Yeah,
times.
I remember.
He retired from the 212 Olympia,
But you-
and the guys that he used to beat in his category, they moved up and they won the big Olympia. So what he's trying to say is that if he would do the Olympia again,
Yeah, go beat him.
he could possibly
Yeah,
beat
Oh yeah.
Just
I
got to
mean,
get out of the bioaccelerator
That's-
again, right?
you know, he is so genetically blessed.
He's very
I'm telling
blessed.
You, nobody have that legs, that
Since
side,
day one.
the arm. He has everything, and I'm like, I was anxious. I know I won the Olympia, but I know Flex can win it without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
I
make
said,
the
why are
commitment
you
right
going
now.
over 40,000 when you can make 400,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they maybe just surprise us with adding some extra on top of the prize
Come on,
money.
you're still 40 years old, Flex.
Because
Come on.
Money motivates me.
we at
Money,
the Olympia,
yeah.
right?
Come on with that money.
Arnold moved up to 500,000 first prize. So is the Olympia going to stay where it's at, or is
They
it
got- if
going
they
to
gotta
be a
be forced.
surprise?
They'll be forced to move up.
If Flex is healthy, if you look at, I bet you if he put 100% tunnel vision to one prep, he can go all the way. I love his physique.
Let's go, baby.
He's got 2 kids
I don't care
now,
about the
and
280.
Let's
too
get
much,
it, Flex.
too much other
Go on,
stuff going
go ahead
on.
and tear
It's
that
hard
ass
to
up,
focus.
This is the problem about coming to Mr. Olympia Expos. I'm around the OGs that I respect and grew up
Got that
watching
fire
and
in you,
best
baby.
friends with, and everybody's saying, you know, and I think
We're all going to get
you know.
behind you.
Lex, I told you
All
that.
the way.
How many years ago I told you that?
You did.
We're going to give you a tush
It's
push.
day one. He know what he got. You just got to put it in the
You
pot.
told him that, Melvin, too, right?
Told him since day one.
Well,
There's one more thing that I wanted to talk to Eric real quick. The good thing is, there's clinics and then there's clinics. And I think that BioAccelerator, they don't accept too many people at the same time because they want to be able to focus 100%. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or if you're just somebody that's just coming to get treatment.
Right.
They all get treated the same.
the same.
Nice.
You know,
Very
and that's
nice.
why
Awesome.
I don't know, but I remember, I think it was Joe who told me that there's maximum of a certain amount of people. That's why when you make an appointment, they'll tell you when it's time, because they can't just say, okay, you can't just come next week. You know what I mean? Because it has to be, the treatment plan before you even get there is done. You have a full schedule. Like you go to school, and they tell you at this time you got to do this and do this and that. So, how many people at the same time are there for a week?
We cap it around 20, 25, but you're right. There's other clinics out there, and you even mentioned one that are kind of more like factories where they'll just kind of slam.
You sit in the waiting room and wait for 2 hours.
Yeah, and we don't do that. We cap it so that we have more of a white glove experience throughout the whole process.
That's all. And the staff, man, Flex. I don't think it's the same. I think it just to a whole nother level. Every single person that's there is awesome. I mean, it was even my wife. She said, "I said they are so nice." She wanted to fucking move to Colombia.
So nice.
She said it too. She's like,
Yeah,
I'm going to go
she
there.
wanna
It's
move.
beautiful. I was like, really?
One of the nurses holding my hand. She was I wasn't even
Yes.
asking. She could see me like ready, and next thing I just feel this hand come into my hand. And I was like, I ain't knocking no Colombian chick out of my hand, especially the nurses out it. So it was just the extra care and attention, just bedside manner. Any question, any concern was answered. Of course, you guys before going there, while I was there, and when I left. It was great, the follow-ups and everything else.
It starts at the airport. They come pick you up.
Yes.
Is there a protocol
They drop
before you
you
get
off.
there?
No, once you get
Before
there.
you come, like a certain way to eat. You
Yes.
No dairy.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, we have a nutritionist that you can do a consultation with, or several, to dial in your diet specifically, because we work with a lot of professional athletes. Because the kind of out of the box, just general recommendation is like, okay, try to cut out red meat and animal proteins, but that doesn't work, of course, with our professional athletes. So they'll spend 2, 3, 4 hours with you dialing in your specific diet to get to an anti-inflammatory state before stem cell. Yeah, but look, you guys are being very complimentary, and the staff. I've always hired brilliant people, but they're the one thing that I never had to teach, and it's probably the best thing that goes on there, is they're truly empathetic people that have a different level of care than we're seeing here in the U.S.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's all the success is due to them.
Unbelievable.
I can't wait to come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man,
I
come
can't
down.
wait to go.
Yeah. Me too.
We're-
I gotta wait a year though.
You have to wait a whole year?
No, I don't. Listen, I'm
You can go with
doing
me.
awesome. I don't need
you
to go
go
back.
with me and hold my hand.
I don't need to go back. Well, you should. This is another thing. If you go, I would suggest don't go by yourself. Bring someone who could, just
Agreed.
in case if you have a couple of symptoms after the stem cell treatment, that you lay in bed and maybe a little bit sore, that can, order you some food and get you some water or whatever. You don't want to be alone.
In fact, when I was there, because I had my knees done, they encouraged activity. So they don't want you sitting in the bed, and I don't want to be, speaking on your behalf, but this is what I was told. Don't go back to your hotel room being like, oh, I'm
Keep walking.
sore, keep walking. So they booked an excursion for me, and we walked. And the first, say, 30 minutes, I was like, oh, my knees, I can't bend my knees.
then you
But by
loosen
the
up.
end of it, I went to bed that night, and what they told me was every day it's going to be halved the feeling of before. But you've got to keep on moving. You can't be sitting still, and that's what we done. I went to the Area 13.
Yeah, Comuna 13.
Yeah.
Comuna 13.
And I had the whole historic tour of the place, and it's a beautiful place, great people, and just to hear the history of what went on there as well. And it had nothing to do with BioAccelerator, but these guys set that up for us. And then we went to cable car rides. Every day I was doing something in and amongst the treatment. because it's encouraged to move. And of course, you know, I'm not going to say no to an excursion in Colombia. So I'm going to say thank you for all the treatment I had there. It was
Of course.
top notch.
Thank you for you know, being very complimentary of our services. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
But
Guys, that brings us to the end of our live podcast. This is to all the fans. Appreciate tuning in. We'll be back here tomorrow at 12 p.m. PST, and we will be talking about the big boys because prejudging will be tonight. We will be talking about, like I said, prejudging, and we will see who will come out on top tomorrow night. So thank you, Samir. I know you were a little late.
I know. Better late than never.
Better late than never. I appreciate you, Flex. Man, much love. Melvin,
Awesome.
Chris, and of course Eric. Man, I appreciate you stopping by. So, thanks.
Great to
We'll see you all.
Thank you, man.
Really appreciate the
See you tomorrow.
opportunity, guys.
Is a mindset made for athletes who live to win. Fuel your ambition and redefine your limits. ESN, made for athletes.